Good afternoon to you. Mark Suttoth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your hurricane outlook and discussion for Wednesday, May 25th, 2016. I wanted to talk about this area of interest off the southeast coast, otherwise known as Invest Area 91L. That's just a way to designate it something other than a yellow X or an area of disturbed weather. It's the naming convention that the Hurricane Center uses when something is worthy of further investigation or interest or whatever. So they call it Invest 91L for Atlantic, the L, and the numbers go 90 through 99, and then they start over again. It's the first step in investigating a potential area of disturbance. So that's why it's called 91L, and you can see the area here between Bermuda and the Bahamas, and looking at the mouse over of the text product, 10% chance over 48 hours, 50% chance of development over the next 5 days. And basically what we're looking at is an area of cloudiness, showers, and inclement weather over the western Atlantic associated with the interaction of an upper level trough and a weakening front. I'll show you all of this in a moment on satellite imagery with enhancement from the University of Wisconsin. It's pretty cool. This is a visible satellite shot showing what it would look like in black and white anyway if you were out in space looking straight down. This is the dying front through here. Frontal boundary, an area of convergence where the wind is coming together for the most part. It's a boundary zone in the atmosphere, so surface pressures along here are just a little bit lower than on either side of it, and the temperature differences are there as well. So you have your boundary or your focusing mechanism, and then there's this upper level trough, which I'll show you in a moment, that is digging into the region, giving it a little bit of energy, and we'll take a look at what might happen with it. So let's look at the things that are going for this system. You need 25, 26 degrees Celsius temperatures, roughly 78, 79, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is the case. The water temperatures are that warm, pretty much anything south of this red line that I have drawn in. So all of this area, including the area of interest, which is sitting right in here, 91L, water temperatures are indeed warm enough. They're not at their peak, obviously, because we're not even into June yet. So the water temperatures are warm enough. The upper ocean heat content in this region is getting there. There's some available upper ocean heat content energy, not a lot like you would have in the Caribbean where that warm water is very deep. But, the water temperatures are there. So that's certainly a check mark in the pro column for this system that might have potential to develop. But some things that are going against it: climatology, for one thing. It's still May. We don't expect a lot of development this time of year. It's a frontal system interacting with this trough, and you can see that right here. This is the trough, the U-shape in the atmosphere. This is the frontal boundary itself. Upper level winds coming around like this, pretty strong overall. Shear over the system, pretty strong right now, 40 knots or so coming out of the southwest. You can see that very clearly. But to the northwest of there, closer to the southeast coast, shear values drop down sort of inside the base of this trough here. But that's still cyclonic flow. You see that is still, in a cyclonic fashion. It's not what we typically see for development. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. You might have warm ocean temperatures, but your upper level conditions just aren't very favorable for development. They're not the worst, but it's not the best either, that's for sure. The shear tendency, that's still going down here. It's hard to see what's what. Let me outline a couple things. This would be the east coast of the U.S. There's the Carolinas and Florida, for example. And so right in here off the southeast coast in this small area, the wind shear values are going down. But again, over the system itself, wind shear is still pretty high. And so it has a limited chance for development overall. And if we look at the GFS, one of the computer models, the global forecast system here, over the next few days, keep your eyes over here. This is where the system would get going. And you can see it's really not that impressive. This is the system here, just a few curves in the isobars, meaning that there's lower pressure and some rain moving in towards the southeast coast, but that's about it. It doesn't look like a hurricane coming, that's for darn sure. We've seen that before. So I look at this and I say, yeah, not much chance of development in the models. The European model, the ECMWF, that gets a lot of praise, also shows something similar to this overall. Just nothing to really worry about. Maybe some inclement weather for the weekend into early next week. This goes out to 5 days, this particular model. So this ends on Monday, Memorial Day. So yeah, along the Carolina coast here, maybe some showers coming in from the ocean as this system comes in. But you can see it's still just sort of like a wave of low pressure, just unsettled weather. You don't see anything that looks like a tropical storm or a hurricane in this model. So I don't think there's much to worry about with it. It could churn up the ocean a little bit, make it a little bit rougher. So if you're heading to the beach, be mindful of that and don't get caught in any rip currents. Keep your eyes on the kids, etc. But otherwise, it really is nothing to worry about. And I wanted to make that very clear. Memorial Day weekend, a big deal for many reasons, and we don't need anything coming out of the tropics this early anyway, screwing things up, and I don't think this will be a candidate for that. So little worries there. Nevertheless, we will keep an eye on it. I'll do another blog post on hurricanetrack.com tomorrow, and then a video discussion about it as well. All right? Have a good rest of your Wednesday afternoon or evening, depending on when you watch this. And I am Mark Sudduth for hurricanetrack.com. Thanks for tuning in. I'll have another update on the system for you tomorrow.